Modern love isn't dying, it's being murdered. Not by fate, not by time, but by our generation's habits. We want loyalty without effort, connection without commitment, and when things get hard, we run. If you're tired of watching real love fall apart, hit subscribe because the truth starts right now. Most people don't realize this, but one of the biggest reasons modern love is collapsing is because we want the benefits of love without the responsibilities that come with it. We want the fantasy, not the work. We want the warmth of someone's presence, but none of the discomfort that comes with growth, sacrifice, or honesty. And the truth is, commitment today has been redefined into something weak, temporary, and emotionally shallow. People want loyalty, but only as long as it feels convenient. They want effort, but only when they're in the mood. And the moment love demands something real, patience, compromise, understanding, that's when modern relationships start to crumble. Love used to be a decision you worked on every single day, not because it was easy, but because it mattered. People stayed, not because they were stuck, but because they carried a sense of responsibility toward what they built. Now, the culture tells us to leave the moment it gets tough. We're told that if love requires effort, it's wrong. If a partner makes a mistake, they're toxic. If a relationship needs work, it's broken. And this mindset has destroyed more love stories than betrayal ever has. Everyone wants someone who will stand by them, heal them, understand them, and love them unconditionally. But ask yourself honestly, how many people offer that same level of effort in return? We live in a world where many want to be prioritized, but they refuse to prioritize back. They want someone who listens, but they don't listen themselves. They want someone to choose them, but they keep a backup option just in case. And slowly, real love disappears because nobody wants to take responsibility for being part of something bigger than themselves. There's also a misunderstanding that love is supposed to feel good all the time. But real love is not just butterflies and passion. Sometimes it's patience in the middle of misunderstanding. Sometimes it's learning how to communicate when you're hurt. Sometimes it's staying calm when you want to yell, apologizing when your pride is screaming, or supporting your partner even when life is heavy. But many people refuse this part of love. They want the romantic highs without the uncomfortable lows. They want the reward without the work, and in the end, they miss the deeper beauty that only effort can create. Relationships break not because two people are wrong for each other, but because both are waiting for the other to try first. Everyone wants to receive, but very few want to give. And somewhere along the way, love stops being a partnership and becomes a silent competition. Who cares less? Who texts first? Who apologizes last? Love doesn't die because it was weak. It dies because nobody was strong enough to protect it. If modern love feels colder, emptier, or shorter, it's because people aren't building relationships anymore, they're consuming them. When something small goes wrong, they don't fix it, they replace it. When emotions show up, they hide behind excuses. When challenges appear, they convince themselves they deserve something easier. And that's why love keeps failing. Not because love changed, but because people did, the most painful part. Many still dream of that rare kind of love, the kind that feels safe, loyal, powerful, and lasting. But they aren't willing to become the person that kind of love requires. You don't get deep love with shallow effort. You don't get trust with half-hearted commitment. You don't get forever if you're only present when it's easy. Love is not supposed to be perfect. It's supposed to be real, and real requires responsibility. That's exactly why modern love is falling apart. Another reason modern love is collapsing is because we don't treat people like humans anymore. We treat them like options. Relationships used to be built on effort, patience, and loyalty. Now they're built on convenience, availability, and instant gratification. When someone upsets us, we don't talk, we scroll. When a relationship feels difficult, we don't work, we compare. When love demands maturity, we escape into the endless catalog of better possibilities. And the sad part is, most people don't even notice they're doing it. Technology has given us more access than any generation before us. But instead of making love stronger, it has made it disposable. Dating apps, social media, endless attention from strangers. It has created a culture where everyone feels replaceable. The second someone makes a mistake, we assume there's a better option waiting. One disagreement, one boring moment, one bad day, and we think, maybe I can do better. People used to grow together. Now, they jump ship, not because the relationship is wrong, but because the world convinces them that something easier, more exciting, more perfect is one swipe away. We forget that real love isn't found, it's built. It's shaped through time, wounds, forgiveness, arguments, and growth. But when someone is treated like a temporary placeholder, they stop giving their best. Because why would anyone pour their heart into something that might be replaced tomorrow? We also created an unhealthy addiction to validation. A simple like a heart reaction, a flirty message from a stranger gives people a quick hit of attention. And suddenly their relationship feels boring. When constant excitement is available online, real connection feels slow. When temporary affection is everywhere, loyalty looks old-fashioned. People don't want emotional depth when they can get emotional stimulation. They don't want commitment when they can get curiosity. And without realizing it, they sacrifice something real for something temporary. The scariest part is the mindset modern dating teaches. If I lose you, I'll find someone else. And sure, someone else might show up, but someone new is not someone better. Someone new doesn't know your soul, your fears, your language, your heart. Someone new doesn't carry years of love and memories. But in a world obsessed with novelty, people choose thrill over stability, attention over connection, and speed over depth. And so relationships no longer break because people don't love each other. They break because one or both believe there's something easier out there. They break because ego whispers, you deserve more, even when they already have what others desperately pray for. They break because patience has become rare and instant gratification has become the norm. When love is treated like a marketplace, nobody invests fully. People hold back, they love with half a heart just in case someone better appears. They don't communicate deeply because vulnerability is risky when you fear being replaced. They don't fight to fix things because letting go feels quicker. And slowly, love loses its meaning. Not because it died, but because it wasn't protected. Some people don't even want a partner anymore. They want attention, validation, compliments, entertainment. They don't want love, they want the feeling of being wanted. But the moment they feel secure, the excitement fades and they start searching again. That's why modern love feels empty. It isn't built on connection, it's built on ego. A world full of options has made us forget the rare value of one person who chooses you every day. But that kind of love requires maturity. It requires seeing your partner as irreplaceable, not interchangeable. It requires understanding that another face, another body, another conversation might be new, but it won't be deeper. Someone better isn't the one you find, it's the one you build, and that's exactly why modern love is falling apart. Another brutal reason modern love is falling apart is because we expect perfection from others while refusing to confront our own flaws. People don't enter relationships to grow anymore. They enter to be entertained, validated, and constantly emotionally fed. The moment someone shows imperfection, the moment real work becomes necessary, they assume the relationship is broken instead of recognizing that every connection has cracks. We have created a world where everyone wants the perfect partner, yet almost no one is trying to become one. The truth is, social media has poisoned our expectations. We see perfect couples online, smiling, traveling, living a filtered love story, and suddenly our own relationship feels small. We see highlight reels and compare them to our private struggles. We forget that behind every beautiful photo is a real couple who argues, who heals, who sacrifices, because no real relationship is all sunshine. But the problem is, people want the picture, not the process. They want the Instagram version of love without the unseen work that makes it real. So when their partner has flaws and insecurity, a bad day, a weakness, a misunderstanding, they panic. They don't know how to handle imperfection because perfection is all they see. One argument becomes, we're not meant for each other. One mistake becomes, you're not who I thought. Instead of working through the mess, people search for someone who seems easier, calmer, more exciting. And they don't realize the truth. Every new love eventually reaches the same stage where effort becomes necessary. But instead of learning how to build stronger love, people just keep restarting from the beginning. We also live in a generation terrified of accountability. It's always the partner's fault. They didn't understand me. They didn't love me right. They didn't communicate perfectly. But relationships don't fail because one person is flawed. Relationships fail because both stop trying. Love is a mirror. It shows us who we are. It exposes the parts of ourselves we need to work on, the insecurities, the ego, the impatience, the fear. And instead of facing these things, many people run. They would rather end a relationship than grow inside one. They want love to fix them, not teach them. There's a painful irony. The people demanding unconditional love are often the ones who offer the least of it. They expect patience, but give none. They want loyalty, but flirt with attention. They ask for understanding, but don't listen. They need forgiveness, but never apologize. Nobody admits it, but many want a partner who makes them feel perfect without ever challenging their behavior. That isn't love. That's emotional convenience. Real love is messy. It requires seeing someone's flaws and choosing them anyway. It requires admitting when you're wrong, compromising when it's hard, showing up even when you're tired, and caring even when you're hurt. But today, pride has taken love's place. People leave relationships while their hearts are still in them, simply because their ego refuses to bend. Love dies not from flaws, but from the refusal to work through them, and the tragedy is this: the more people search for perfection, the lonelier they become. Because no matter how many times they replace partners, the same truth follows them everywhere: love isn't perfect, and neither are they. The problem is not the people they date. The problem is the standards they hold that no real human can reach. Everyone prays for a loyal partner, a gentle soul, a true connection, but rarely asks themselves, am I ready to be the kind of person someone can trust, rely on, and build with? Modern love is not failing because people are unworthy of it. It's failing because many refuse to become worthy of the love they demand. And that's exactly why modern love is falling apart. Another silent killer of modern love is the way communication has slowly been replaced with ego, silence, and emotional distance. Most couples don't fall apart because of what they say. They fall apart because of everything they don't. In the past, people talked, sometimes with anger, sometimes with tears, but they talked. They tried to understand each other, even when it was difficult. Today, the moment something feels uncomfortable, people go quiet, shut down, walk away, or distract themselves behind screens. Problems don't get solved, feelings don't get explained, and the relationship slowly suffocates under the weight of everything left unsaid. There's a belief that avoiding conflict keeps the peace, but silence is not peace. Silence is distance. Every time someone says I'm fine, when they're not, every time they hide their hurt instead of expressing it, every time they choose pride over vulnerability, the connection weakens. What could have been fixed in a simple, honest conversation turns into resentment, and resentment doesn't disappear. It collects layer by layer until even small disagreements explode into bigger ones, not because of that moment, but because of everything that was never talked about before. Communication today is less about understanding and more about defending. Instead of listening to each other, partners plan their responses. Instead of trying to repair, they try to win. Nobody wants to apologize first. Nobody wants to be the one who cares more. Nobody wants to lower the shield. But love cannot survive when both people are too busy protecting themselves to protect the relationship. Apologies feel like defeat, admitting pain feels like weakness, and asking for reassurance feels embarrassing. So emotions stay locked inside, and both people start to feel alone, even while lying next to each other. There's also a dangerous habit of running to outsiders for support instead of talking to the person we are hurting with. When couples argue, many don't sit down together, they go to social media, friends, strangers, or distractions. Attention replaces communication, compliments replace effort, and slowly, the partner becomes a roommate instead of a soulmate. Love cannot grow in a relationship where the world hears more than the person you're actually committed to. Ego makes it worse. People care more about being right than being close. They care more about winning the argument than winning the relationship. They focus on proving a point instead of fixing the problem. The truth is, arguments are not the problem, broken communication is. Love doesn't need perfect words. It needs honest ones. It needs someone who can say, I'm hurt, instead of acting cold. It needs someone who can say, let's talk, instead of shutting doors. It needs someone who can say, I was wrong, instead of waiting for the other person to fail first. And the longer couples avoid real conversations, the more they drift. One day it's less talking, then less laughing, then less touching, until eventually it's less love, not because feelings disappeared, but because they were never expressed. The tragedy is that most relationships could survive if people talked before they walked, but no one wants to start the conversation, so both wait in silence, hoping the other will come forward. And while they wait, the connection dies. Love doesn't end when people stop loving each other. It ends when people stop communicating. It ends when pride becomes louder than affection. It ends when two people sit in the same room, but feel miles apart. Most heartbreak isn't caused by cheating, lying, or betrayal. It's caused by silence, assumptions, unspoken pain, and the belief that they should know, without needing to be told. Modern love isn't failing because we don't feel enough. It's failing because we don't speak enough. And that's exactly why modern love is falling apart. Modern love isn't dead, it's exhausted. It's tired of shallow effort, half-built promises, silent battles, and people who want the reward without the responsibility. Love is still out there, real, loyal, rare, and powerful. But it doesn't come to those who swipe endlessly, replace quickly, or quit easily. It comes to those who stay when it rains, who communicate when it hurts, who choose each other even on the days it isn't easy. At the end of the day, love doesn't fail people. People fail love. And the moment we realize that, maybe we'll stop chasing perfection and start protecting something real.